They were Hollywood's golden duo, 19 years deep, 2 kids, and red carpet smiles that sold us the dream that love can last in Tinseltown. But this week, Nicole Kidman quietly filed for divorce from Keith Urban, and the fantasy cracked loud and clear. Here's the jaw-dropper. Insiders say it wasn't her call, and she fought hard to keep the marriage alive, even marking their anniversary just days before the paperwork hit the court. Meanwhile, Keith was already on the move, touring solo, dodging questions, and keeping his circle tight, which only made the whispers louder. So why is the partner who wanted to stay the one doing the filing? And what really went down behind those Nashville gates? Did Keith emotionally check out long before the signatures? Or is there more to this story than anyone's ready to admit? Nicole filed, Keith faded from the frame, and now the drip of truth is starting to spill. On September 30th, 2025, Nicole Kidman formally filed for divorce in Nashville, ending a 19-year marriage that shocked even folks close to them, according to multiple reports. The timing stung too. The filing landed just a day after E! News reported they'd quietly separated earlier in the summer, which lines up with the hush-hush vibes everyone's been noticing. Even with her name on the legal docs, people close to Nicole say she was trying to patch things up, which adds a heavy dose of heartbreak to every headline. She stayed in their Nashville home, focusing on family and routine, while Keith has reportedly set up in a separate place nearby, keeping distance but not disappearing from the city. No wild claims here, just a hard pivot from forever to finally over, and a lot of careful silence that says plenty without a single word. Keith is on the road right now, keeping the show moving while the headlines do their thing. Their last big public sighting was June 20th at a FIFA World Cup match in Nashville, and they looked picture perfect. Smiles, vibes, the whole fairy tale on display. 5 days later, Nicole dropped a sweet 19th anniversary post on Instagram, even as insiders say the cracks were already showing behind the scenes. Those court papers spell it out in black and white. Irreconcilable differences. Short line, loud message. Neither of them has said a word publicly, but that quiet hits hard, and it's saying more than a press tour ever could. Their story started fast back in 2005 at the G-Day LA event, where sparks reportedly flew the second they met. No warm-up, straight to fireworks. They tied the knot a year later in a lavish Sydney ceremony, and for nearly 2 decades, they were the gold standard. Supportive, grounded, and locked in on every red carpet and award night, like a power duo that couldn't miss. But real talk, the grind got heavy, and the distance got real, according to people close to them. Nicole was often abroad filming prestige projects, Europe, Asia, long shoots with tight schedules, while Keith was touring hard stateside and across the globe, passing like ships at night with barely any overlap. Friends allegedly noticed the emotional space growing, even if the public never saw a single hint of trouble, and that's the part that stings. The smiles stayed shiny while the connection slowly slipped. Sometimes it isn't one big blow-up. It's a quiet fade, a tour bus pulling away, a film set in another country, and 2 people trying to hold on from different time zones until the silence does what the rumors couldn't. Reports that they were living apart didn't hit until summer 2025, and fans were blindsided. Nobody saw it coming, and the quiet felt loud. No statements, no clarifications, nothing. So that June 25th anniversary post from Nicole suddenly reads less like a party and more like a last-chance signal flare. The shock landed fast and hard. Within hours of Nicole's filing blasting across the news cycle, timelines lit up. Disbelief, sympathy, and, of course, speculation poured in. People who once held them up as couple goals were scrambling to make sense of a story that flipped in real time. One post captured the mood perfectly. Wait, she filed, but she didn't want the divorce. That's heartbreak 1. An ex, formerly Twitter user, posted, echoing the confusion ripping through comments everywhere. Instagram did what Instagram does. Throwback red carpet clips, tender interviews, and that Oprah moment resurfaced on loop. The one where Keith tearfully credited Nicole for helping him through addiction struggles. Heavy history with real emotion. The contrast between that devotion and today's hush is brutal, and fans felt it like a punch to the chest. Questions piled up. Where is Keith Urban and why the radio silence? Why hasn't he said anything? Not even a line or two to steady the room. Meanwhile, Nicole kept marking milestones online, and folks noticed the difference. She stayed visible while Keith got low-key quieter over the past few months, which only cranked the curiosity higher. Then the internet went investigative. Photos from recent tour stops sparked chatter that his wedding ring was MIA, and people started connecting dots like it was their day job. Reddit threads picked apart lyrics from fresh performances, saying the subtext sounded like a long goodbye, little cues pointing to emotional distance baked into the set list. Through it all, Nicole's choice to file, despite trying to hold the line, read to many as both a white flag and a power move, a calm stand in a storm she didn't start but refused to let define her. Sometimes the one who walks away isn't giving up. They're accepting the truth. One viral post read, and it racked up over 50,000 likes in a snap. Tabloids went loud, with Page Six and the Daily Mail tossing out questions about a mystery woman on Urban's tour team, while others side-eyed the timing of Nicole applying for Portuguese residency just weeks before the filing. Strategic move or soft exit plan? Was she plotting a full relocation or just a way to breathe? Celebrity friends stayed mostly quiet, but a couple of cryptic taps got noticed. Naomi Watts liked Nicole's June 25th anniversary post, the now iconic photo, just hours after the filing hit the wires, and timelines split over whether it was solidarity or subtle shade. The loudest headline, though, is still Urban's hush. This is a man who's poured his feelings into ballads about love and redemption, and now the silence screams. His refusal to speak feels like a plot twist all by itself, and the longer it lasts, the more the internet writes its own ending. On the surface, you could call it a textbook celebrity split. Calendar clashes, emotional drift, tidy legal lines, but the details keep slipping out of that neat box, and the vibes aren't adding up cleanly. Nicole Kidman didn't just roll out of bed and file for divorce. This was a move measured by calendars, captions, and careful quiet. She posted that anniversary tribute 5 days after their last public sighting together. 5 days. If she knew then what's public now, that post reads less like a celebration and more like a final hand extended across a widening gap. And that's where it gets messy. Why would the partner still trying to hold the line be the one to press go on the paperwork? Maybe Nicole saw the unseen chapter before anyone else. Sources say Keith had emotionally stepped back months ago, living separately, locked into tour mode, and letting the distance do the talking. And the silence now only makes that read louder. And the question nobody wants to put on the record hangs in the air like a hook from a chorus. Did Keith Urban won out all along? Maybe Keith stepped back and left Nicole to handle the messy part because somebody had to make a move, right? It's not rare for one partner to slowly drift. Less eye contact, fewer hard talks. Just a long fade that keeps the peace while the heart checks out quietly. In that light, Nicole filing doesn't scream victory or defeat. It reads like a final stand to keep her dignity after months of watching the story fall apart without a single clear explanation. Then there's Portugal, and the timing has everyone side-eyeing the calendar. Strategic planning, coincidence, or a clean exit lane mapped out in advance. Nicole is famously private, but a legal step toward life abroad while the marriage was still intact says plenty without a press release, and that silence lands heavy. Meanwhile, Keith's quiet isn't neutral. It's a whole narrative by omission, and the headlines are filling in the blanks for him, whether he likes it or not. By saying nothing, he lets Nicole take the spotlight and the scrutiny, and folks are reading that hush as distance, maybe even deflection. This doesn't feel like a sudden split. It feels like a slow retreat from one side and a reluctant push forward from the other. The kind of breakup that creeps in room by room until there's nothing left to fix. Nicole filed the papers, but some will say Keith ended the love a long time ago. No fireworks, no fight, just a quiet fade that leaves you staring at the empty space where the US used to be. When love ends loud, at least you know the moment it cracked. When it ends in silence, you start replaying everything, wondering if it was ever whole in the first place. For years, Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban sold a polished vision. Elegant, steady, resilient, untouched by celebrity chaos. And we believed it because the pictures were neat and the smiles were warm. Now that glossy image is shattered, and what's underneath looks painfully human. Missed calls, long flights, and feelings left on red with a side of denial that kept the brand moving while the bond thinned out. Nicole filing after months of trying doesn't read like surrender. It reads like survival, the kind where you choose peace over pretending, even when it hurts. And Keith's silence, whew, it's louder than any chorus he's ever sung, and it echoes in every empty caption and every quiet night on tour. This isn't just paperwork. It's the story of how relationships can erode in the quiet, even when the cameras catch nothing but smiles. It's the gap between a sweet anniversary post and a lawyer's office, the space where one partner is still reaching out while the other has already moved on in spirit. And that contrast hits different when the world is watching. We might never get the full download from Nicole or Keith, and honestly, we shouldn't bank on it. But one thing is loud and clear from the sidelines. Even the prettiest love stories can snap when the cameras stop flashing. Behind every glossy post sits real-life mess, moving parts, and motives we'll never fully clock. And that's the sobering part. What looks perfect on the feed can be complicated in real life. No captions needed. Rock with us for more sharp, no-nonsense breakdowns right here on Gossip Confidential, your front row seat to the stories behind the spotlight. Tap subscribe, smash like, drop a comment with your take, and share this with a friend who loves the tea. Your support keeps the receipts coming.